The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello, and welcome to The Short Take, the podcast where we talk about all things short films, apart from when we don't. I'm your host, Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host, Alex.
That's me.
How are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm alright.
Yeah, good. Nice.
Hot.
Yeah, it's a bit muggy,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's a bit muggy.
Yes, hopefully it's going to rain soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm going out in a minute.
Yes, you are, yeah. This week, episode 10, I think we're on now. So we're in the double digits.
Bloody
I
hell.
know.
10 whole episodes.
10 whole
It's
episodes.
more than last season, isn't it?
No,
Oh.
it is not.
It's half?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, I picked this film and it's called Alternative Math,
Ooh.
or in English, Alternative Maths. Little
I
S on the
guess,
end.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do speak a lot of American, so I'm
It's
not
not that, I
surprised.
just don't consider it. Like, I don't talk about maths that often.
Why not? I thought you loved maths.
I hate maths.
So this was directed by David Maddox.
Mm.
I could not find a budget anywhere, but I'm assuming it was pretty high.
Yeah, decently, for sure.
Yeah. It's won, I think, something like 10 awards
Wow.
for things.
Okay.
I don't know what for. I didn't actually look in depth about it.
Wow.
And the synopsis goes as follows. A well-meaning math teacher finds herself trumped by a post-fact America,
Okay.
which is an interesting synopsis. Do you want to go in with the good?
Yeah.
Start us off.
I think in terms of camera angles and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
really strong. I really like the opening shots of each of the scenes with the school.
Okay.
I really loved that idea, and I loved how the landscape shots, but then the subjects going on in it would change. So like you have one of it, the first few are just blank except when there's a cat walks in, which is kind
I
of
like
cute.
the cat, yeah.
And then you have the picketing line outside, and then you have the great one of her when she's
Just
like,
a picket line.
pardon?
It's just a picket
It's a
line.
picketing line because they're picketing.
Mm-hmm.
Picketing, okay? Picketing. There's a picket line.
There we go.
But then the one where she's leaving the school, like with her box of stuff, and it transitions from that shot into the scene of her putting her stuff in the car.
Yeah.
I really love that one.
Yeah.
And then the final one is her turning up at the school at the end.
Yeah.
And you see her walk into frame. I really love how they incorporated that into the scenes as well as it being an establishing shot each time.
Yeah.
I thought that was really strong. And I thought the camera work at the end was really strong when she's sat facing the council, whatever they are, the school board.
Oh, yes.
I
yeah.
thought that was really, really fun, like the way they shot it. I do think the colour correction lets it down a bit. We'll get into that in the bad. I thought her acting was pretty good. I liked her. I think the writing lets her down a bit in points, but I think she's really good. In fact, I think all the actors are pretty solid. I kind of like the weird cartoony energy they're bringing. Do you know what I mean? Because they're like, no one's like a real person. They're all kind of like...
Yeah, they're all hyper...
Yeah.
No, that's not the word, is it?
Hyper-realistic.
Hyper-realistic
Yeah.
versions of people.
Yeah, which I liked. And I think the concept is interesting.
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to get into that in the bad, I think, personally.
Okay.
But I think the concept technically is good.
Yeah.
I think it's a difficult one. I think it's genuinely funny. It made me laugh for the most part. I don't know if out loud. I don't know if I laughed out loud when I watched it today.
No, you sat there stony-faced.
Deadpan.
Yeah.
Single tear rolled down my face at one point for some reason.
What bit made you laugh the most? Internally.
Internally, I think the bit where something about the parents going off on her made me laugh a bit.
Yeah. I think it was when
He
she got
busted
up.
out the R word, which came out of nowhere, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa! And I get that it's meant to be like, oh my god, but like...
That is the point where the scene flips and she's like, okay, I don't want
It's
to be
like,
a part
okay,
of this
yeah,
anymore.
wait a minute.
But yeah, I was a bit like, oh, interesting.
I think the very end bit is funny, though. I don't love it. Like the bit where she's like, oh, it's actually 22,000.
We'll get onto that,
Yeah.
actually.
And I quite like the bit where... I quite like the idea of how like she's just the whole time like, no, it's not. Like, I kind of like how like she doesn't ever relent in the fact she's like, no, it's just, that's not right. Like,
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that. As a concept again. I think tonally it's interesting. I think whoever made this could easily get a career directing sitcom stuff.
Yeah. I think
and
that's...
I think they should, because that's like the vibe for the most part.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with most of that. I really enjoy kind of hyper-realistic characters.
We've had that a few times now.
Yeah.
And I think it's always films you pick, which is interesting. Because I think that the one I think of is way back in season 1, the Western one we watched, where it's Nick Offerman narrating.
yes.
That kind of has a similar vibe with the way people are acting.
Yeah. It's like not how people really act.
No, but it's like cartoonish almost.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, I quite enjoy that style. I think it kind of, from a writing perspective, all you're doing is cutting out anything unnecessary. And literally just by doing that, it makes people feel cartoonish.
Yeah.
Because they're just saying the things they need to say, and like, you know, it
and
gives the
overacting
scene
them.
it gives the scene pace.
Yeah.
And it gets your point across, and it can be very funny.
Yeah.
Like in this, and in I think that Western, it was fairly funny.
Yeah, I get
Actually, I don't remember the Gunfighter.
The Gunfighter.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think it is shot very well. I think it's shot very safely.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. I just don't think it doesn't blow, like as you said, it's competent. It doesn't blow you away. As we've said with a couple of them recently. Yeah, the set is very good the whole way
Very
through.
good.
I assume they probably got an actual school.
They must have. I'm pretty sure I saw a school credits in there. I might be wrong. They must have.
I don't know.
At the very least for the exteriors. But yeah.
That song in the end credits, the director wrote that.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
No?
No, personally.
I thought it was really weird.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I think in execution, but we'll get to it.
Okay, all right. I think the dialogue is pretty strong overall. I do agree that there are some bits that let it down, but I think overall it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of it with my good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the subject matter. I don't know if this does really fit into a good or bad or whatever, because it's just a discussion about like where it sits. It's obviously meant to be a thing about kind of not maths, basically. It's It's you know, it's critical race theory maybe, or like talking about being gay, something along those lines.
I think there's an issue in the messaging of what the film's actually saying.
I do agree.
Because I think the film's coming across as extremely anti-liberal.
I think it can be read both ways. I think the first time I watched it, I agree with you. It felt very like she was actually, if we took this into real world terms and swap maths for, let's say, critical race theory, she is the bad guy. But on rewatch, I think actually she's not necessarily the bad guy.
She's clearly not the bad guy because we know she's right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the whole idea, is we know she's correct. I think the issue is, it's not that she's been given an alternate answer. She's been given an alternate thing of anyone can be right.
Yeah.
There is no truth. But then that doesn't... It feels more anti-liberal than anything else. Like, it's mocking the idea of creative thinking. That's what it feels like they're getting at. And I don't think that's what they're trying to do. Because it just... it doesn't feel like that. But, like... So, I said to you earlier, there's a short film that I think I'm going to bring in at some point. I think it's called 2 + 2 is 5.
Okay.
Right? It's really good. It's a foreign language film, and it's about like the idea of dictatorship and stuff like that. And all it is, and I think this is where the issue lies in this film's messaging versus this other film's messaging, is in the other film it's just a classroom, and this teacher comes in and goes, "Okay, everyone, take a note of this. From now on, 2 + 2 is 5."
Right.
And everyone else in the room is like, "Well, that's not true. It's 4."
Yeah.
And it's like, "No, it's 5." And it gets increasingly more like dangerous. Like,
Okay.
it's like, no, it's 5, and you will remember that, and that is now a fact. Changing the truth. This film, do you see why I'm going with, like, she's the one who's saying, no, it's this.
Yeah.
And everyone else saying it can be anything. And, like, that's annoying, but it feels like it's maybe not pointing the finger at the right people, if that makes sense, or it's just, like, it doesn't really have a...
Yeah, but then...
It's like woke America is almost what it's making fun of for me.
It's...
Which I don't think is what they're intending.
I think it's really difficult because the surface of it is obviously making fun of right-wing kind of people, but then if you read into it like we are, it kind of does look like it's pointing at liberalism.
Yeah.
But if I read a lot of the comments for this because I knew this would be a big point of contention.
Yeah.
People argue it both ways in the like
which
so
is so
much.
interesting.
Yeah. Because I think you can really easily argue this both ways.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really difficult position to be in. Obviously, I can't decide for the film itself, but I think it is trying to be pro-liberal.
I think it is as well, just because of the vibe.
Yeah, it just does not land that.
This is such a weird thing, but I think for me, it kind of lands on this thing of like, it's like when we're in a position now where we're trying to have discussions about trans rights, right? And the idea of there's those people who are like, there are 2 genders. That's it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, there's not. It's like a spectrum, and there's like all this different stuff going on. That's what it comes across as to me, because it's the person saying, no, this is how it's always been. And then it's the people going, it can be anything.
Yeah.
But they're mocking the people saying it can be anything.
Yeah, it's kind of because they've substituted that argument for something where there is an absolute truth.
Yeah.
like maths has absolute truths in it.
Yeah.
I did actually look it up. There isn't a proven proof for 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
The accepted proof is that you break down 2 into 1 + 1.
Yeah.
So it's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1.
Yeah.
So all numbers are defined by the amount of times you're adding 1 together.
I know what you mean.
There is not a necessarily defined proof for it, but it is 2 + 2 is 4.
It's a fact.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It is a fact. Trans rights too, I think, I don't want to speak for you, but like there is an absolute truth to it for us.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
100%.
trans people deserve rights.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not something that really impacts on anyone else particularly. No. I don't understand why it's an issue. Maybe getting a bit too political, I don't know. But then you're bringing in... But to other people, it is a subjective argument whether trans people deserve rights or not.
Yeah.
You're replacing that with an argument where there is an objective truth, and that is a really difficult line to walk.
It's weird. It's really odd.
It is, yeah. And I can see where they were going with it. From our side of the table, you're looking at the other side, and you're like, they're really stupid for their opinion. Like, it's really dumb. And they're looking at us from their side of the table saying their opinion is really stupid. So, on a very surface level, your opinion is objective fact and theirs is just incorrect.
Yeah.
So you bring in this idea of a platform where there is objective truth.
Yeah.
And so you can laugh at them with like a genuine like answer behind you.
Yeah.
Like you can say you are wrong, 2 + 2 does not equal 22.
Yeah.
But then, as we said, you can then read that both ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work.
It doesn't. It's really odd. And it's like, I think the problem is it's not, I just can't think of an example in my head where like Republican / right-wing people are doing what they're saying in this film. Not a clear one anyway.
I don't know. There's that thing recently in Florida where they're like banning all the books.
Oh yeah, that is ridiculous.
But that kind of...
But again, that doesn't fall into the same thing.
Not really,
Because it's
no.
like, it's just the argument of facts versus... But then I guess that is a thing that happens in America all the time. It's like, right-wingers are like, just disregard actual facts, like abortion stuff.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't feel like that's falling into it. It feels like it is making fun of woke America more than it is anything else. But that's an issue, because what's wrong with being woke? Like,
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there is a discussion to be had around the idea of being, like, ridiculously woke and, like, just overthinking everything. But, like, that doesn't feel like what it's doing. I think it gets a bit lost in its messaging, and I think that's why I think the end bit in the credits doesn't work for me.
Okay. What, the song?
Yeah.
We're bringing this all back to the song.
Well, it's a fine song. I just don't think it really fits with, again, anything that's, like, the messaging for me. I'm just like, I'm confused by what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no, I think it's confusing.
Yeah, that's my biggest
confusing,
problem with it.
Yeah, and it doesn't, that's basically just it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of bad, so do you want to just do more bad?
Yeah, I mean, I was
just
fully ready to go into the bad.
Yeah.
I think the sound's really bad.
Oh, really?
There are points where you can full on hear, like, in the background.
Oh, okay.
And it drops and comes in and stuff, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that.
I really particularly noticed it in the bit where she's walking up to sit in the chair facing the council.
Right.
If you listen back to that bit.
Okay, yeah, I'll rewatch it.
I noticed it a couple of other points. I think, personally, I'm not a massive fan of the overacting, hyper-realistic acting stuff.
That's fair enough. I think
that's
that
more
is
of a taste thing.
Yeah,
like, that's clearly just something they're trying to do, so that's not necessarily bad. The dialogue wasn't super strong, in my opinion.
Okay.
But again, maybe that just comes back down to it. I think, like I said, I think some of her acting is let down by the dialogue. Because I think she's very good, and I like her a lot in it.
I think her weakest bit is when she goes back to her house, and she's, like, acting to the TV. I think it's a mix between her lines, how she delivers them, how it's edited. It all just feels very weird.
Again, what's happening in the story. It's like, where are we meant to be with this?
Yeah.
And the lighting as well. Like, not the lighting, but the colour correction.
I don't like the colour correction.
Bad.
It makes it feel like an ad.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
It's very harsh white light.
It should be more colourful.
Yeah, it should.
Like, again, feeling like a sitcom almost.
Yeah. Because they do start to lean into that when she goes into the board.
Yes, I know.
It's like, it's very dark and like,
which is really fun. Like, the way they film that is really good.
And like high angles and stuff, and it makes her feel very small, and this board very powerful. But they just don't do that in any of the rest of the film.
I don't know how you'd put this. I kind of want to say blocking, but like the way they frame people and the way they have the people situated, like when she turns up at the school at the end and there's the line of people ready to do interviews and stuff. I mean, that's so well done. And the shot of her walking up and then you just see the line and then you see him coming from the side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so well shot. Like,
Yeah.
really, really clever. Like, clever use of, like, camera angles and, like, framing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have the best payoff. I think the ending bit with the 22,000, just because, again, I didn't really dig the rest of what they were talking about.
That's fair enough. I did actually see a comment that I do agree with, that it actually breaks the logic of the film anyway.
Yeah.
Because...
If the guy... So the guy knows it's not true.
No. 2 plus 2 equals 22.
Yeah.
All you've done is put the two numbers together.
Yeah.
2,000 plus 2,000.
Oh, it'd be like a ridiculous number.
It's like millions.
Yeah.
It's not 22,000 because you're still adding
It'd be like 20 million, right? 20 million,
Something like that, yeah.
200? 2,000.
It would be
20 million, 2,000, right? Holy shit.
Yeah, so
She's an idiot.
Yeah, it breaks the logic of the film.
Yeah, but it also breaks the
It's
logic
such
of,
a small
like...
nitpick, I think. I think that is kind of a nitpick, not a bad.
That is a nitpick, technically.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It just didn't quite land for me, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Though I do get the idea of it, and I do think it's a decent idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a decent payoff for the film, but it's not a decent payoff for the theme of the film.
100%. I'm trying to think if there's anything else particularly bad. I don't think there really was for me.
I think a lot of the film is shot very safely, which I think I did
Yeah.
touch on in good, but like it makes it in parts kind of boring, maybe.
I don't know. I don't think I ever felt that.
No? Okay.
No. I think...
I think the opening is kind of weak.
Yeah.
Of
But I think
him
it's because
coming
it's a
in with the
child
test.
actor and child actors aren't good. And I think the way they shot that isn't particularly interesting in that bit.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the problem.
And it's going straight into that like commercial lighting
Yeah.
and very wide and like ambivalent shots. Kind of like you're not really in it, you're just watching and observing.
I feel like I could have done with some close-ups of the kid's face.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like the only
more-
close-up we got was of the test.
Yeah.
When it pulls focus to the F.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Have you got anything else bad that you
I
want to
don't
say?
think I do.
No? If you're very into nitpicking, I would say the
Yeah.
music is a bit like standard, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like
Yeah.
it works. Like there's no point where I'm like, this is bad music. But it's,
Well,
like,
it's like
I've
something-
heard this music in one of these things before.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's again a sitcom episode.
It's sitcom music. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so Tessa's been watching Desperate Housewives recently,
That's
and
such
I
a
have
perfect example.
my headphones on when I'm editing this
Yeah,
podcast,
like-
and I hear the music, and I'm like,
Dum, 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 dum.
something suspicious is happening,
Yeah.
or someone feels embarrassed about something,
Yeah.
and it's like you know from the music
Yeah.
that that's what's happening, and that's what this is. It's like it's so basic, and like it's
Yeah.
not doing. I mean,
But
it doesn't
it is-
have to do anything interesting.
No,
but
it's not doing anything interesting, but it's doing what it's meant to be doing.
Yeah,
Which in itself, yeah, I don't know. It works.
yeah, it's all right, but I can understand that being like a thing that you wouldn't like
Yeah.
necessarily.
I would say the costume design for me, I think they could have gone crazier with.
Yeah.
Not crazy, but like just, again, I think it's the colours thing in general in the film. They wanted more popping colours for what was... The vibe of the film feels like it should have been more like colourful.
Yeah, we've not talked much about the scene with the parents when the parents come in.
I like that scene. I really like the bit where she says she's right out of Nazi Germany.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. That's something that made me laugh.
Well, I think that's that kind of hyper-realistic dialogue.
Yeah, 100%.
No one would
That's
say
like,
that.
Yeah, you're right. That's what, again, I think where it feels most like it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
Which, again, isn't a bad thing. Yeah, I don't know, that scene, other than him, the dropping of the R word. But then, like, I feel like, again, that is there for the point of what it did, which was made us go, whoa! Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, it puts you on her side.
Yeah, which is clever. I like the direction that took. Like, I think it's fun to, like, twist that scene in his head where it's like, oh, apparently you said his test was wrong and everything. I like the bit with
This
the teacher
so-called
as well.
test.
Yeah. The bit with the teacher straight after that, the principal.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, what, so I'm stupid now?
Yeah.
And that's like such a classic
Because I'm a
online
principal,
argument.
I just do, like, paperwork
Yeah.
or whatever he said. That was fun.
But it's just like such a classic online argument where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, so you think I'm stupid now?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, just engage your
personally,
brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that stuff's all fun. I think...
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any other nitpicks.
No, it's not a particularly nitpickable film.
It's not got many nits, actually.
I mean, I think the budget of this was quite high. They had a
Definitely.
lot of people involved in this. I'd
Yeah.
be really interested to see how this got made.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't find anything
It's a
particularly.
shame. I'd be really
Yeah,
curious.
it was quite a big cast, quite a big crew. Obviously, well, what do you reckon budget? Like 50k? Maybe more?
Maybe, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely a decent amount. Yeah. I think the only real issue with the film in terms of an actual like problem for me is the messaging of it.
Yeah.
I think the concept needed maybe more workshopping to really figure out. I'd like to hear the person say exactly what it is.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, that would be good.
if they were to like, if it was an analogy for something or a metaphor for something, what exactly are you thinking of?
Yeah.
Because I wonder if that would change my opinion on it. I think otherwise really strongly made. I really think this person should go into like sitcom comedies and stuff because I think they would do a really good job. Yeah, I really like the like idea of the character work and stuff. As much as I said it's not technically my vibe, I did enjoy it and I think it worked for what they were doing.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I've got anything else either. I think I completely agree with you. I think the subject debate is definitely the biggest problem with it. There are a couple of very small technical things like the lighting isn't very interesting and you said about the sound and stuff, but yeah.
Technically, I mean, the sound stuff I think is just bad. But again, this is all stuff we've always said before, which is like technical stuff is like you can always fix technical stuff. Like, going
although
forward.
to be fair, on a budget of this scale, I kind of expect a good technical.
I was a bit surprised by it, but yeah, I think it's a pretty cool film still.
Yeah, cool.
If this film gave your son an F on his so-called test, would you call them the R word?
No, I would not.
I wouldn't. Glad we're in agreement.
Yes. Can't wait for you to be a parent.
Me too. Proper parent anyway, not the one that's abandoned their children.
What?
I'll do questions.
We're moving on to the quiz.
We should have a little ditty for this bit. Questions, gonna read them all.
There we go, done it.
Who said, I'm gonna read 3 questions.
You're so bad at
I'm
this.
going to read 3 questions to Jake. If he gets all 3 of them right, he gets a victory lap, which is an extra question, which is an extra point. If he gets all 3 of them wrong, which is more likely, he will get a pity point question, which he can answer.
That was so badly worded.
I explained it every episode.
That was just spaghetti.
Yum. Who said what? I am fascinated by air. If we remove the air from the sky, all the birds will fall to the ground, and all the planes too.
What the fuck? Okay, question 2.
By the way, that wasn't a character, it was a person.
That was a person said that.
Yep. It's very funny.
Fascinated
I didn't
by
know this
air.
person said that, but now I've read it, I'm like, yep, makes sense. Which actor, who later became a prominent politician, was born in this week in 1911 in Illinois, US?
Do you want to say what the week is?
Oh, sorry. It is Thursday the 9th.
Of?
You knew that.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
From which film is this? This is Friday Fun. From which film? On your own from the age of 15, reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined. This is rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
That's from your favourite film of 2017? 16?
Maybe it is. Who knows? First one.
Was that the thing about air?
I am fascinated by air. If you remove the air from the sky, all the birds will fall to the ground, and all the planes too.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
I don't think you're going to get it.
No, I don't think so. Jeff Goldblum.
No, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Of course it was him. Which actor, who later became a prominent politician, was born in this week in 1911 in Illinois, US? That is February.
Oh, 1911.
Yes. You were thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Who's clearly not born in Illinois.
No.
Born in Austria.
Yeah. Oh, God. Who went into politics? Reagan?
Which one?
Ronald.
Yes, you're right.
Is?
You got on, yeah.
Nice.
On your own from age of 15, reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined. This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
I rebel. It's... Would you want the film?
Let me see what they've written down. I mean, the point is to the film. I'll give you an extra point if you can tell me both the other characters who are talking.
Oh, okay. All right. It's Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Oh, it's actually Star Wars Rogue One.
Oh, is it? Is it Solo, a Star Wars story?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I can't give you the point.
No, shut up. It's Mon Mothma, isn't it? Saying from the age of 15, etc.
Yeah.
And then it's... I was going to say Cara Dune, but that's the Mandalorian, isn't it? Oh, I do know
This
her
says
name.
everything I need to about Rogue One. Fuck this movie.
I do know her name. I
Go
definitely
on then,
know
tell
it.
me what it is.
Is it June? I don't think I'm going to get it. I do know it. I'm going to kick myself when I hear it. Do you know it?
I know it. It's the one character name I remember, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
That and K2SO, but that's a cool robot.
yeah. No, what about Forrest Whitaker's character?
Saul Guerrero.
Saul
isn't it?
Guerrero, yeah.
Fucking loser.
Well, it's because he's in like all the cartoons and stuff.
I'm old.
He's very good
Rebellion.
in the new ones.
Don't care. Star Wars to me is what Marvel is to you now.
Yeah. No, I can't remember it.
It's Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso, fuck's sake.
So you still got 2 points to that though, which technically means you got like full points. You got you got 3. You got 3 points because you didn't get the first one. You got the second one, and then you got 2 for the last one because I gave you Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you got 3 points.
Lovely.
Which means you can do the true or false, the victory lap.
Yeah. Even though I got one wrong.
Would you like 1, 2, or 3?
I'll just go 1, and then we can do it in order.
Eddie Murphy had a hit single called Party All the Time.
Party all the time.
True or false?
Eddie
Murphy.
True.
It is true. I can't believe you said it like that. Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
I don't know
You do.
I don't.
James Woods was originally cast as Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs, but was fired after he punched Quentin Tarantino in an on-set argument.
That's so niche. It has to be true.
It's false.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not at all true. Like, I can't believe that's on there. That is a really clever one.
Yeah.
The Bible verse of the righteous man and the shepherd cited in Pulp Fiction is embellished by Tarantino.
True.
Yeah, definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Nice.
That's it. You got max points. You got 4 points.
Woohoo!
All I should do is give you an extra point for something.
I love extra points.
You do.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
As ever.
You're welcome.
Remember to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed what you've listened to.
Click.
Indeed. Maybe hit that little bell as well.
The bell's pretty good. I heard the bell if you ring it 3 times. Which I think might deactivate it. I think you press it once, it does it once, twice it does it a different version, and then third time it just undoes it.
Great.
So hit it 3 times, and you will never hear from us again. That's the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And comment, what's your least favourite Star Wars film? Very contentious.
Ooh, yeah, I'll put a comment. Wonder what it is. Ooh. Until next week, you won't hear us.
But we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.